Here we go. There's the ball. And look, he's going to pick it up. Fire. Yeah. Manning stays on his feet. It is caught by Tyree. 1 for 3 on the way. Oh! No! Blocked by James. Pass is intercepted. Drives down. That's broken down for the championship. We will see you tomorrow night. This is for the win. Got it. Back at the wall. Target. 5 step back. 3 for the
This is Chris Canary of the Indiana Pacers on Fox Sports Indiana, and you're listening to SmallTown SportsTalk.
Hello and welcome to another episode of SmallTown SportsTalk, brought to you by Endeavor Communications. I am Jonah Freeman, joined by Andrew Willett, as always. Andrew.
Jonah, really excited because this next guest is really a very close friend of mine. He runs over at Indy, graduated from Monrovia High School, where I graduated from this past summer. You're about to graduate from there, so happy to be welcomed by alumni of Monrovia and Indy runner Ben Nagel. Ben, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. Ben, first thing, I think we've asked everyone that we've had on here, what has been the most difficult thing for you as far as COVID goes and trying to keep your body healthy to be a runner?
Yeah, so I think probably the biggest thing is just access to facilities. For a while there, like the whole summer and even before that last spring, I had no access to like a real weight room. And, that's a pretty big part of what I do. And, I didn't really have any problems with injuries, but, had no access to like athletic trainers and stuff like that. But, we're getting back into everything. Weights are back on and everything else. So it's all good now.
Yeah, what were those like first couple of days, even weeks, where you weren't sure what was going on with coronavirus, and it ended up ending your track season?
Yeah, so it was kind of at an interesting point. We had just finished up our indoor track season, and it came off of our indoor conference meet. And then I went on a spring break trip to Florida, and that's when all the news started pouring in. And, it was interesting, like the first day, like, oh, wow, a few people are sick. And then next thing I know, like our outdoor season's canceled, and it's actually a pretty big deal what's all going on. So from there, it just kind of turned from focusing to outdoor track. And then I got to, kind of have some fun with my spring, try a few different things and time trial by myself, a few different longer events that I wouldn't have been doing before. But yeah, tried to make the most of it and try to have fun with it.
What about running and being a student athlete to you is so fun, especially with all these restrictions now that you've realized what you missed, you're getting to do it again? What do you enjoy most about being a student athlete?
Yeah, I think being a student athlete was actually huge in getting through the coronavirus. I always have so many teammates that I can count on and everything. And right now I'm actually living with 6 other guys, all teammates in the house right now. But, we were talking about this the other day, like if I would have been in a dorm, like by myself, like this would have been a really rough year. So, it's always fun to have, 6 other guys that, can always go on a run together, always play 2K, whatever we want to do, always have them here. And then now, even now it's like great that, even when things are getting back going and everything, they're still always here. So it's been a lot of fun.
Ben, I want to get back to you get your track season canceled, and then you get an opportunity to try a few other things. So I want to ask, what was that summer like for you, and what were some of those things that you were able to do?
Yep. So it started out, I was in really good shape once everything got canceled. So I wanted to make the most of it. So I did time trials for a 5K, a 3,200 and a 1,500 meter, which is like the mile race that we do in outdoor collegiate track. And I cut off, I'm trying to think, like 20 some seconds off of my 5K PR and 20 some seconds off my 2 mile PR and like 15 seconds off my 1,500 PR. So, it was a lot of fun. It was a bummer. It was just like me on a track by myself, but, it was a lot of fun. And then from there, I like to keep things fun. So I tried a few different challenges. I did, it was called like a 24-hour backyard marathon where every hour of the day, I went out and ran 4 laps around my yard. So it was 4 laps to a mile. So I did that for every hour for 24 hours and just kind of like trying to sleep and eat in between. So that was kind of fun. And then I'm trying to think of some others. The big one obviously was the Everesting with, climbing up Mount Everest in one single activity. So that was a lot of fun. And then got to take a little biking trip. I biked half of a trip from Plainfield, Indiana to Nashville, Tennessee. So that was 150-ish miles in the span of a day. So that was a lot of fun too. So just trying to make the most of what I could.
If you don't mind, break down the Everest thing, because I know that's something that not a lot of people have been able to say that they've done. So break that down for us.
Yeah, so it is. So basically, you pick a hill and you run up and down it as many times as it takes to get to the height of Mount Everest. So for me, that was at an apple orchard, Anderson Orchard in Mooresville, Indiana. They were gracious enough to let me use their hill for a day. And, I started at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. I don't remember which one, but yeah, I basically ran, it ended up being 50 miles exact of uphill running over the course of 21 and a half hours, I think. So it was, yeah. So it's 1/10 of a mile, 466 reps of it, and it ended up being 29,029 feet of elevation gain. So, it was definitely the most painful thing I've ever done, but, it was a lot of fun. It took me a while to be able to walk afterwards. Had a rough night after finishing it, but, I had a lot of support and couldn't have done it without my family and the Johnson family. And, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Definitely pushing myself to the limits.
how long did that end up taking you?
Yeah, I think it was 21 hours and 38 minutes, which, is a thing where I was like, this can take, it may take 16 hours. I may be able to get it done quick, or it could take, over 24 hours. And we were definitely prepared for it to be over a 24-hour event, but I was able to knock it out, not necessarily knocking out quickly, but able to knock it out.
Yeah, goodness, that has you finishing up around 11 o'clock midnight after starting.
Yeah, yep, got it done right before the next day. So I was excited by that.
That's probably one of the craziest things anyone has ever done. Then,
yeah, it was pretty cool. I believe I was like the 11th American, and I think I was the youngest. So first one in Indiana. So all that stuff was like kind of cool. So yeah.
What was it
that's
like?
awesome.
Because I know they made an article about it in this area. What was it like kind of getting some media attention by doing that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Obviously, wasn't expecting that or anything, but I appreciate them highlighting little dumb things that people in the community are doing to stay active and stuff. But yeah, that was pretty cool. They wrote a nice article and had some cool pictures in there. So yeah.
Before we get into a few more accomplishments that you've had, then especially here recently, we want to take a step back. We know you played a lot of different sports growing up. When did and how did running become your thing?
Yeah, so my 8th grade year, so I was going into my first year of high school, and my older brother Matthew was going into his senior year of high school. We had always been basketball players throughout middle school and high school and everything, and we wanted to kind of add another sport into it. And I know Matthew was looking at playing soccer for a while, but he kind of got on that too late. And then I don't know why, I don't know how, but we ended up signing up for the cross country team. We knew nothing about running, but we started running over the summer a little bit. Obviously, was not very good at the start, and yeah, it was just a fun atmosphere with Coach Cassida and Coach Mann. They really welcomed us and kept us on. They always tell the story of, oh, we got 2 basketball players joining the team, and they're kind of all grumpy about that, but I think it ended up being a pretty good gig.
You just mentioned Coach Casta, and you not only, we'll talk about it later, you got records now at UIndy, but you also have records at Monrovia. What was it like having Casta as a coach and really going through that program with him?
Yeah, so Cassida is definitely a very dedicated coach. He knows a lot about high school cross country, high school track. He's very good at his job. He came prepared with workouts. It seems like he had it planned out for the entire week, the entire year, everything. And he always knew what to tell us and how to get us ready and stuff. So he was really really great for a cross country season. And if I wouldn't have enjoyed that first cross country season with him, like I definitely would not have come back for track, would not have come back for cross country next season, and who knows what I would be doing right now. So that was interesting. And then Coach Mann with him, and he was really one-on-one with us, which is always his style. And then in the spring with Coach Haggerty, with her being the men's track coach, she was always fun to be around, and once again welcoming, and set us up for success.
I want to ask, how did those people in your life, first who, and then how did they help you get to where you are now?
Yeah. Like, once again, like, if I would not have enjoyed those first few weeks of cross country, I was planning on just doing cross country. I was, 3 sports, that may be a little intimidating. So I was going to be like, I'll do cross country, and then I'll do basketball, and then I'll just keep the springs off and free and everything. So, after I got a little bit of success my freshman year, they're like, okay, you're on the track team. Like, there's no debating this or anything. Like, we need you out here. You can be really good. So just that push from them, they really worked with me with everything. I remember showing up my first day, they're like, go run an 800 to warm up. And I'm like, an 800, like 800 what? Like, what does that even mean? Like, and so they were able to teach me how long the track is for one lap around. And then they taught me how to move my hands when I run, and all sorts of stuff that just seems so basic, but they were able to spend the time to work with me and everything. And obviously it worked, and developed into a pretty successful time.
You just mentioned the successful time. I want to get into some of your accomplishments now at Indy. National qualifier, and I know you have several Great Lakes Valley Conference honors. What's it been like being so successful, and what's next?
Yeah, so coming into my freshman year really wasn't anything special. I came in, I think I broke 2 minutes in the 800 once, which is, I did that once in high school as well. So, I wasn't improved. I didn't set any PRs my freshman year. And, I was just glad to be a part of a collegiate team and just kind of, ride with everybody and travel. And, I didn't have any kind of goals to like break any records or win any races or anything, because that's definitely not what I was doing. And then the next year, like, obviously I was training hard over summer and especially winter break to come back for the next track season. And it was kind of a lot of the same old, like running just about the same times and that kind of thing. And then I was able to travel to Grand Valley State University in Michigan, and it's a 300-meter track, so it's a little bigger than what we race at Indy. And I kind of had a breakout race where I cut 4 seconds off of my 800 time, just being in a good field. That atmosphere was really great. And then from there, I was able to replicate that time at our conference meet, which was good enough for third place, which is a conference medal. That was a lot of fun. And now, like after my sophomore year, after that breakout race, so I like set a goal. I was like, I want to win 1 conference medal sometime in my career. Like, if my senior year, my last race, I win 1 conference medal, like, I'll be happy. And, I would have never expected to be, breaking school records by so much. And, I would never have expected to go to nationals, let alone be like the 5th seed coming in and everything. So, it's definitely progressed a lot, especially this season. And, it's been a fun journey so far, but, the job's not done, and getting ready for nationals in a week, and on from there to outdoor and everything else.
Jonah, do you know what is ridiculously fast?
What's that, Andrew?
Endeavor Communications internet speeds.
That's right. In Indiana, basketball is everything. And if you're anything like Andrew and I, you are always streaming basketball, your favorite sports, or just your favorite shows. And hey, you're always going to need Wi-Fi.
Ridiculously fast.
Endeavor Communications provides Wi-Fi perfect for watching the big game, streaming your favorite shows, working, studying, and gaming all at the same time.
Not only is Endeavor fast, but when you go with Endeavor, you support the whole community.
Endeavor Communications is proud to serve and support our local community. From homes, education, businesses, Endeavor will keep you ahead of the game.
You can find out more and see for yourself at weendeavor.com. That's weendeavor.com. And tell them SmallTown SportsTalk sent you. That's awesome. Ben, I want to ask that 800, obviously you broke the school record at Monrovia in the 800 and the 4x8. At UIndy, you've gone on and you have a school record for indoor DMR and for that indoor 800. I want to know what's going through your head on like when you're going that fast for an 800-meter run, and like what's that mentality like?
Yeah, so I guess I can kind of break it down race by race. So first, the 800 meter at Monrovia. So my freshman and sophomore years, I was like, I'm a miler and I'm a 2 miler. Like I'm not good for those short distances and anything. I'd always ran the 4x8, and we got to a meet against Cardinal Ritter, which is like our big rivals and everything. And the 4x8, we heard that their guys' team was going to pace the girls' team, that they weren't even going to bother racing against us. So I kind of took that personally or whatever. So I went out and I cut like 6 seconds off of my 800 PR, going from like 206 to 2 flat. And then I finished, and Coach Haggerty was like, well, like you're an 800 now, like you want to go break the school record? And so we took a few more weeks of just running miles, 2 miles, and the 4x8. And then senior night that year, we tried for the record. I think I ran like 201 or 202. So I was off of it a little bit, and then was able to win sectionals that year, which was also pretty exciting, and advanced to regionals, which was a very talented field. And they were able to pull me through. I think the first lap was like a 400 PR. And then I had to just come back with another fast 400, and I was able to break the school record there. So, that was a very fun experience. Then the next one would be the 4x8. Obviously, host Andrew Willett here was a part of that. It was a lot of fun. And this one, this was probably the most fun to chase because we were so close, so many races. I know, our conference that year, I want to say we were like a second and a half off the school record. So we're like, man, we're so close. But we still got 2 more chances. So then we went to the county meet that year, and we finished like 0.07 seconds off the school record. I was like, that's just like a lean at the line would have gotten it. And then so we're like, okay, like we've got 1 more chance. And I believe this is my senior year. So, this was it. So, and then we smashed the school record. I don't remember exactly, maybe like 3.5, 4 seconds or something like that. But, it was really big. We had huge legs from Andrew, and then Patrick Miller and Jordan Goodman really stepped up, and those were really the difference makers in order for us to get that record. Let's see here. Then, so after my sophomore year at UIndy, I had ran a pretty good 800 time. And so how they do it in college, if you run on a small track, they'll convert the time to a big track time based off of like just sharp turns and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting, but my converted time actually like beat the school record, but it like doesn't count and all that stuff. It's kind of complicated, but so I knew I had it in me to be able to do that. And then after I opened up the season at a Grand Valley in a mile, it was like 13-second PR. I was like, okay, like that gave me all the confidence in the world to like go out and just smash the 800. So I beat it by like almost 2 seconds. And, it's kind of, I wasn't in a fast heat just because I haven't ran those times before. So I was able to win my heat and then just finish. Obviously, like there's no crowd, no fans, like nobody knows like what I just did or whatever, which is fine. So it was kind of fun, just like finishing and like, wow, like I just beat that by a lot. So, and then just go and do my cool down and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And then, the next day we assembled a distance medley relay team. So somebody runs a 1200 and then a 400, an 800, and a 1600, all combined at the same time or whatever for a relay. And, we knew we had the talent. 10:15 was the school record. So we're like, okay, like we're going for 10:15. Like if we can run, we all have, really good days. I think we can beat it is what we were kind of going for. And then I ran a 3-minute 1200 leg to start us off. And then we had a 48 something 400 leg next. Then our 800 leg ran like a 156 or 157. And then our 1600 meter leg ran like a 414, 413. And like we all just had crazy fast days all at the same time. So that was a lot of fun. We smashed the school record by 15 seconds. We were, I want to say we were like 11th or 12th in the nation at that time. And, it was just exceeding expectations. And, you know, it was fun to be with Alex Brown, Devin Whitaker, and Jacob Stam were the other 3 on that team. And, you know, that was a lot more fun to share that moment with those guys. You know, even without a crowd, it was a lot more fun to, you know, race around cheering them on that day versus just doing it by myself the day before.
So, like, what is your goal now? Are you happy with those times, or what is that last goal?
Yeah. So now, yeah, you know, it's kind of hard where, like, you know, a few months ago, I just wanted to win one conference medal. And now I'm like, well, like, okay, like, yeah, like I should, now it's kind of like expected to, like, not only just get a conference medal, but to win every time now. Then it's like, yeah, what goes on from here? So, you know, I guess starting with this week is to get an All-American trophy, which is top 8. So basically, if I can get past prelims, 8 will make it to finals. And, you know, if you make it to finals, you're an All-American. So I just got to treat the preliminary round as the finals. And if I get to the finals, then that's great. And, you know, no pressure from there. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess from here, the goal is to win a national championship. I mean, I don't really know what else there is to do, but obviously I'll try to bump up to break the mile school record. That'd be pretty cool next year. I think it was like 5 seconds off that, but I believe I have more to give. And then outdoor 800 is something I can get hopefully this year. And then outdoor 1500 is a pretty fast time, but that's something that I can set my eyes forward to and try to train to hit that.
That's awesome, Ben. I've got a few questions. First one, you mentioned the fans. Probably an underrated aspect to indoor track. A lot of people can be in one place at once, but obviously with COVID, not the case. What's it been like without having all those fans?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, it doesn't even seem like a meet almost. Like, it's almost just like you're time trialing teammates or something like that. But yeah, for me, like, you know, warming up is like so weird. Like for one, we have all this space to warm up with. We don't have all these crowds and team camps in the way. So, you know, that's kind of different, but it's just quiet getting up to the line. And, but then once I start the race, I feel like I don't even notice, like I'm so just like zoned in and focused on the race. So for that aspect, you know, it's kind of different, but then I go back and think about how much I appreciate like the fans cheering me on and words of encouragement during races. And I think about that as like, yeah, like I would kind of like that again, but yeah, and then finishing races and you just go and, you know, grab your stuff and do a cool down, and that's about it. But yeah, I'm excited to have fans back, obviously, excited to have my family back there and all my teammates gathered around the track and everything. So can't wait for that day for sure.
Absolutely. I also want to get into a little bit. You've gone through some injuries, no doubt. Like you mentioned, Everesting, a lot of pain right there.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to break down your injury history, and then like just how is your body doing right now?
Yeah, so I guess I've been lucky in the sense that I haven't had any major injuries that have set me out for extended periods of time. I know stress fractures and stress reactions are really common among my teammates. You know, we just had another one show up in a boot. It's out for a month. So I guess I am very lucky to never had those problems. But, you know, in high school, I had some shin problems, had some knee problems. I had like bronchitis and pneumonia during one track season at the same time. So I think, yeah, my sophomore and senior seasons, it seems like I didn't even practice. I would basically go out there to do races, and then like that was about it. Just whatever my body could handle and stuff. And you know, my college, I had to sit out one meet my freshman year. I think it was like the first cross country meet I ever had to sit out because of some back pain, and you know, I don't even know what the cause of it was, but I just couldn't handle it. And then I don't know, I had some knee pain, but yeah, really nothing major. Just had to sit out the one meet and sit out some practices here or there. But, you know, I feel like I train even harder when I'm injured, doing like rehab and biking and swimming, just not getting that impact, but still trying to get the cardio and training in.
Last thing I have for you personally, it's a little bit off topic as far as running goes, but Andrew told me we have to talk about it. And that's Andrew said you collect trading cards, and it's a booming hobby right now. So do you have a story or two that's really cool that you could tell?
Yeah, you know, I haven't been too much into like buying them recently, but growing up, that was always my gifts for Christmas, birthdays, everything was trading cards. And I'd go with my family, like flea markets, and kind of like buy them in bulk and stuff like that. And, I think I have like 30,000 or something in my house, and they're all like sorted by team in different binders by league and everything. And, I enjoy, collecting and trying to get like my favorite players and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, recently I kind of found out that you can like send them to the who the card is of, and they'll like sign it for you and send it back in the mail, as long as you like send an envelope and a stamp back for them and everything. So that's been a lot of fun. I've gotten some really high profile, big Celtics guys. I got Dave Cowens and Bob Cousy. I got them. I got Shaquille O'Neal back. That was definitely a big one. Brian Scalabrine, the White Mamba. Just personally, that one was a pretty cool one to get back. But yeah, just send it to them. They'll sign it and send it back. So yeah, I'm always excited when I get the envelopes back in my handwriting addressed to myself. I know it's something pretty cool. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
What's one that you're probably still waiting on?
Ooh, I'll have to go back and look, but surprisingly, I've had a high return rate, even with some of the current players. Like, I was surprised to get Rudy Gobert back during the initial COVID situation and everything. But I mean, the big one I can think of right now is like Mark Eaton, the big 7'4" center for the Jazz. I don't know. That's the only one that comes to mind right now.
And then the last question for me, I got to ask about, you mentioned a school project where you're kind of doing a research study. How's that going?
Yeah, so for the Honors College here at Indy, you get to have a research study, and it's pretty in depth. I've been doing a lot of work for it already, and it hasn't even started or anything. But you get funding for it, so I want to take advantage of that funding for sure. So I'm testing the advantage from some new Nike shoes, in particular the Alpha Flies that Eliud Kipchoge ran the sub 2-hour marathon in. And so there's been studies on these shoes before, but they've all taken place on treadmills. So we want to make this study more about a real running environment where we'll be having trials on the indoor track. And we have a little vest that people wear to measure VO2 and oxygen consumption, all sorts of fancy kinesiology stuff. And we're gonna get a lot of biological measures and see to what extent those shoes really help, and try to answer that for a lot of the people that are spending $300 on these shoes. See how much it really is gonna help them.
That's awesome. And Jonah, do you know what time it is?
60-second speed round time, if I'm right. I don't know.
Absolutely.
All right.
I've got the timer. This is our 60-second speed round, brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Jonah's got the questions. I'll take the timer.
All right. First question. Favorite place to eat in downtown Indy?
Downtown Indy, Five Guys, burgers and fries, for sure.
All right. If you were given $1 million, what would be your first purchase?
Oh man, speed round. I got to think fast. Let's go with a house. That'd be cool.
All right. If you had to pick a superpower, what would it be?
Obviously, the Flash, ability to run faster.
What's the best piece of the brownie, the corner, edge, or middle?
The middle, where it's nice and soft.
All right. What's your favorite sport outside of running?
Basketball. I really like to play basketball, for sure.
I would ask you favorite pro sports team, but I see the Pacers stuff in the background, so we'll go to favorite all-time pro athlete.
Craig Ingles is pretty cool. He's a middle distance runner right now. He does some cool stuff.
Do you have a favorite movie?
I just wrote this down for something. I said Click. I thought it was pretty good.
All right, and then a favorite TV series? One more before we finish.
The Office.
Yes.
For sure.
Love to hear it.
Andrew's favorite too. Yep.
Spot on, and that'll do it then for the 60-second speed round. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I look forward to listening to it.
And the last thing we got to know, obviously Nationals this weekend. What time are you running?
I mean, I don't know how if this race is going to be tactical, if it's going to be fast, but it'd be pretty cool to get a 4 in there. It's a 149, something like that, break the 150 mark. No promises, but that'd be pretty darn cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, best of luck to you this weekend, Ben, and thank you so much for joining us on SmallTown Sports Talk, brought to you by Endeavor Communications. For all of our listeners, you can catch our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. I'm Andrew Willett with Jonah Freeman, and this time, Ben Nagel. That's S2 Squared.